What is up, you guys? Man, I have been getting a ton of questions on these Sightmark Wraith scopes, and I thought, you know what? Let me just make a video and let me answer some of the most asked questions. Now, I'll probably jump back and forth on a lot of stuff like I usually do, but I'm going to try to answer the best I can, the most asked questions that I get. Now, I'm not a professional. I don't work with Sightmark directly. You know, I get nothing out of these other than being able to shoot these scopes because I purchased them with my own money. They didn't send these to me. I had to save up and buy these like everybody else. But I've used these things a lot. I haven't used them as much as some people. A lot of people use these on a regular basis, especially if they do stuff like eradicating or they just hunt a lot, shoot a lot. I've had nothing but success with them. I've used them enough that if something was going to happen, I really feel it would have happened and I would experience some problems. Now, I've had some things happen, but it was user error. I'll go over that with you as well and tell you don't do this so you won't have this problem. I'll also show you a little hack for the external battery source that I think you guys are gonna like. Really, it's a game changer on how you apply external battery to the scope. And yeah, like I said, we'll kind of go over the differences between the 2x16x32, the 4x32x50, show you, the few differences they have, and also let you see how they are alike. So enough jabbering, let's get on with this video. First and foremost, these are the same exact scopes. There are a few minor differences, and the differences are not in the scope itself as far as the software or anything like that. It's all external, okay? This is the 2x16x32. This is the 4x16x50. Now, it is a little bigger. It weighs a few ounces more. It's a little bigger. The front end is a 50mm objective, 4x32x50, 2x16x32. The difference is this has a rubber cap, okay? And this is a flip cap, okay? Other than what they look like on the outside, that is the only difference, obviously, other than their magnification. But to use it, everything in here, the menu, they're all exactly the same. They're both exactly the same. I shouldn't say all. They're exact same. If you can run this one, you can run this one. If you can run this one, you can run this one. There is no difference. Everything on the side, from where their external power is, to the SIM card, all that stuff is the exact same, okay? They both have a rail on the top for your IR light, okay? Now, you can mount the IR light anywhere you want to. You can put it on the rail here on top of the scope, or you can do what I did, which I've done a couple times. This is mainly just to show you for now. I've actually mounted it on the front of my rifle to put it out a little further. If your rifle has a rail for the attachment on the flashlight, there you go. Oh, look, I was gonna show you, but I'm not. YouTube is really touchy right now, showing anything putting on a rifle. Okay, any accessory. And I know you're probably saying, but it's just a flashlight. Buddy, I lost a couple of videos for some simpler stuff, so I'm not even gonna try it. So just take my word for it. Any place that's got a rail, you can put that on there. It's really easy to tighten down. It's got a big nut on it. You can use, finger tight is good enough depending on the recoil of your gun. Most of the time I just leave it up here. Now with this rifle, I have left it out in front and it's done me pretty good. The second most question I get asked all the time, how far can you see at night with this scope? It all relies on this IR light, okay? The IR light they send you, before anybody says anything, you put your hand in front of the barrel, empty. No magazine in here. I never put my magazines, I never leave them in the gun. I always empty my chamber, make sure it's emptied before I ever do any gun videos or work on them or whatever. So anyway, let me just get that clear. The IR light it comes with, I'm not a techie, okay? I think it's 900 lumens, and I think it's IR lumens. I don't know. It's just 900 is all I know. About 200 yards is the furthest that I personally will feel comfortable using it. Go back and see some of our videos. I'll try to put them up here if I can. We were shooting at 143 yards. You can see plain as day the hog. It was on medium because these things do have a high medium and low. Okay, and you can also focus the light if you want it a wide beam or a tight beam just by simply screwing it back and forth, and it'll tighten or widen the beam. 143 yards, medium. See it plain as day. Not all of our eyes are the same. If you're out there hog hunting and you're kind of far out and you see something in the scope and you're just convinced it's a scope and you or a hog and you want to pull the trigger, that's on you. Personally, if I can't really see it and tell what it is, like right off the bat, if I really literally can't see the hair on its back, I'm not going to pull the trigger. I want to know what I'm looking at. Which leads me back to the 200 yards. I've shot at 200 yards a couple of times. Again, IR, the darker it is outside, less ambient light, including the moon, the further you're going to see. We were out there at a friend's ranch and it was dark as hell. Okay, it was pitch black and I could see what it was and I took the shot. But over 200 yards, I'm just not going to do it. Now, I like shooting close anyway. I like shooting around the 100 yards. I like being close to the animal, man. I like when they come out, I can hear them, see them, smell them. I love that. But if you're a long range shooter, you want to shoot coyotes or bobcats or whatever, or if you have to, eradicate, that's your profession or what you have to do, just get a bigger IR light. Okay. The weakest point on here is the IR light. I used a buddy of mine's IR light. It was a hog wall, I believe. I think is what it was called, hog light. And one of the big bad boys. And I shined it out there and I know the range, it was a little 800 yards. Man, I saw clear, but it was an expensive light. It's like 180 bucks. Had a little changeable lens you could put in there, but it's up to you. If you want to get a bigger light, you're going to see further. So short answer, the light that comes with it, I'd say 200 yards. Now, that doesn't say how far the scope will go. If you're in day mode, I really don't have an answer for it, but I know you can see over 1,000 yards. I mean, we've been on the ranch and we know what the yardage is between senderos and between blinds and stuff. And you can see all day long and just keep zooming it in. Now, like I said before, the more you zoom in, I call it pixelate. I don't know what else you want to call it. This is a digital scope. It's a digital image. So the more you zoom in, things will get kind of grainy and, like little pixels. So again, that's what I call it. The 2x16. I've had people correct me. You need to know it's not 2 power because it has a digital zoom in there as well. I'm not a techie. I'm just a good old boy, likes to go hunting. I know it's, when you put it on there, it says 2x, okay? 2x, 2 times. You keep pushing the button forward, arrow on top, it zooms it in up to 16. Okay, that's all I know, okay? I'm not gonna get into all this termination lingo with you. I just know it goes from 2 power to 16 power, okay? I like the 2x16 because it has a better field of view when you first turn it on. The 2 power, it's just a wider field of view. Okay, if you're doing hog hunting and you're doing close quarters, you're not really reaching out and you have to be able to turn that rifle and get on them real quick. To me, that's the better route. The 4x32 is an excellent rifle as well. If you go back again and look at my videos, my reviews, I'll put them up here as well. Also in the link in the description below. Go look at my reviews. I got some videos on there comparing the two scopes, looking exactly at 100 yards or 50 yards and the power, the zoom on there. Same exact scopes, no difference other than externally. One's a little bit bigger and they got different caps on them, okay? That is it. Internally, everything, you work the controls the exact same to record, to go to day-night mode, to go to low vision mode, to get to your settings. Everything's the exact same, okay? I haven't had any issues with those. Now, I did tell you a while ago about something that I did that was user error. And it's kind of hard to explain, so let me just see if I can make it real quick. I had a charger, okay, and a lot of chargers are automatic. So if this charger knows that it's charging the phone because it's on, it'll automatically come on and charge your phone, right? Well, in these scopes, okay, you have what's called a sleep mode. If you hold the bottom arrow down for 3 seconds, it goes into sleep mode, which means it's still on, but it's sleeping, okay? It's taking a little nap. When it goes into sleep mode, it's not using any power, or it's not using enough for some chargers to think that it needs a charge, so it cuts off. I wasn't paying attention. Inside your scope, bottom right hand side, it has an icon to show you your battery power, or it'll show you a little plug if you're plugged into an external battery source. I wasn't even looking at that. And we were hunting at night. All of a sudden it went blank. Showed a red screen, flash, and went blank. Oh man, my scope just, take a dump on me. Mess around, and got to looking. My battery charger wasn't on. Cut it on, turn right back on. So I sucked all the juice out of the 4 AA batteries because I wasn't paying attention. It's kind of a rare occurrence, but just so you know. This is the question I get asked the most. What do you use for an external battery source? Well, I'm going to show you the 2 kind of battery sources I use, and I'm going to show you a little hack here I think you're going to like. Most of you are going to want to go get this. Man, you're silly if you don't. It will dramatically change how you do things. It'll help out a bunch, and it will save that Sightmark scope from getting damaged. So your typical battery charger, I bought this at a truck stop, I don't know, about 2 years ago, just charged my phone on my laptop when I was out on a work site. 80 bucks, which means on Amazon it's probably 30, right? But this one just has a 2-port. It'll charge your phone up to like 4 times. It'll charge your laptop. It says twice. I don't know if you'll get that much on it. But anyway, it says 20,800 mAh. Milliamps? I don't know what that means. Just so you know, I have called Sightmark and I've asked about the power source. And I've mentioned this before. There are fast chargers. There are chargers that put out a little bit more juice. You know what I mean? Inside the scope, it's protected. So if you put something, plug it in, and it's too much power, it won't allow it in there. Okay, it won't allow it to overcharge and fry anything in there. So that was cool. They were thinking, okay, when they did that. But anyway, typical little phone charger. And I have the Jackery. Okay, I've showed this to you guys before. It's not a plug for Jackery, but this is the Jackery Explorer 240. I bought this for the house. We lose a lot of power out here. But I use this a lot because if this charged 100%, and I've done this, leave it plugged in to your scope. Yes, you can leave the scope on all the time. The scope can stay on as long as you have something to power it. It will not overheat, won't malfunction. You can leave it on. So if you're gonna do that, you need a good battery. And this did it. Anyway, I was at 100% all night long. It was about 9-10 hours. Like 4% is what it sucked down. So, but it's also a better power unit. You know what I mean? I think when I had this little battery charger here, it's just got 4 little bars. Left it plugged in for like 6 hours, and it sucked it halfway down. But again, this is a better kind of battery. But anyway, that's all you do. Now, the hack that I did, I was on Amazon going down that rabbit hole, right? Trying to find out kind of things. You guys have seen me in the past where I just plugged something in the side. I plugged the cord in here and kind of wrapped it around so nothing would tug on it and I wouldn't damage anything in here in the, or the external battery where you plug it in. Check this out. So I'll leave this in the description below as well. You guys are going to like this. This is a magnetic charger, okay? And it's real simple. And when you buy this, it comes with 3 different, the most popular charging ports, which the USB-C, or USB Mini, which is what they call this. And it's this one right here. I don't know if you can see it. That's the USB Mini. I never knew what it was called. It's like the older phones had these. And an iPhone. I'm an Android guy. Take this. Boom. My mic here. Very strong little magnet. Just boom. Now, when you plug this into your scope, if anything happens for some reason, yes, I still wrap it around the scope to keep from pulling on it. But if something were to happen, it'll literally just pull it off that magnet and nothing will damage. So simply take this. Now, I will tell you this does break apart, and this is a nice tight fit into your scope. So, and because it's a magnet, when you do plug it in and you're done hunting or whatever, and you go to unplug it, you will have to pull this piece out. It does come with a little tool right here, like a little fork you get under, and it just pulls it out. I usually just use my pocket knife and do that, but I didn't tell you to do that. So don't blame me. Use the tool or at your own risk, buddy. Plug this in. Find the way it goes. Don't just go jamming it in there. If you're trying to push it in there nice and easy and it's not going, flip it around maybe the wrong way. Don't just jam it in there, because if you damage it, they're not going to replace it, okay? That's user error. So find the way it goes. think that's it right there. Simply just push it in. Now it's plugged. Here's the other cool part. You go to unplug that. When there's power, and I'll show you right here, when there's power, you'll see a blue light. See that blue light come on? Power off, power on. So you know it's always charging, okay? Off, on. Just take this, boom. It rotates all the way around. It'll rotate any way you want to. It also flip over. Got a swivel head here, so it's never gonna put it in the bind. Just plug it right there, leave it alone. You can still wrap it around the scope a little bit like I do. Wrap it around a couple times, and it's got a real thick coat on the outside. Very tough. It's abrasion resistant, you know what I mean? So now you can see how loose that is. When I pull on this, get a bite right there. Now when I pull on this, it'll pull the gun over, okay? It won't even put no tension on that. And if something were to happen, it accidentally does, still reach over to do something, boom. You're back in business. Boom. Does nothing to the plug inside there, and you're not gonna hurt anything. So that's a pretty cool little hack. 10-foot cord, I recommend at least 10-foot cord. And I got it in red in case I drop it. I can find it easy. With the light at night, I didn't want to get it black or green or white, just because white will get real dirty. You kind of anal with that old white cord looking all nasty. But again, just man, it don't get no simpler than that. So now for battery source, I have told you guys that Sightmark does sell a battery for this. It's about $100, okay? This Jackery was right at $250 something. This isn't something I don't see most people going out and buying just for their night scope. I had to have it, so I just use it. The battery that they sell actually mounts up here on top. I know, sorry Sightmark, I'm not gonna pay $100 for a battery that does the same thing I can get for 30 bucks on Amazon. Not gonna do it. Check that out, man. I'll leave it in the description below. Go check it out. And it comes in a pack of 4. And you know, you can have one for the phone, you can have one for the light. I got 2 scopes here, so I got one for each scope. And luckily this thing has 2 ports, so you know I can power both of these scopes. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Another question I get asked a lot is, how do you go from day mode to night mode? Now, when men ask me, I'm just like, brother, I know. I didn't read the directions either. What do I do? The thing I did when I first got this scope, I didn't read the directions. I just seen the little power emblem, turned it on, and just started messing with stuff. It's very straightforward. But if you are having problems and it doesn't want to go to night mode, you need to contact Sightmark. I love Sightmark. I'm sure there's going to be a limit somewhere. Things are going to happen. Maybe when it was delivered to you, somebody dropped it. You never know. But it's very simple. When the unit is on, the arrow facing left. So if you're looking down the scope, the arrow up here, you got an arrow that's up, arrow that's down, left and right. You just push it to the left. If it's on day mode already, just push it to the left. And I'm gonna tell you, here's something simple. You can just keep pushing it till the screen is black and white. When it's black and white, that's night mode. You have sometimes when it's delivered to you, if they test it in the factory or whatever, sometimes they may have left it on low light mode, they may have left it on night mode, whatever. Just keep clicking through it. You only got 3 options. You got day mode, low light mode, which is a green mode, okay? Everything will be green. That's for low visibility. That'll help kind of bring in some light, and night vision. And just, you can cycle right through it. So another question I get asked is, I can't figure out how to get this thing to record. Well, number one, you have to have a SD card in there. It's easily forgettable. It can happen. Make sure the SD card's in there. I like using 64 gig. You can use whatever you want. I have been told, though, I have people tell me that if you go too high, some of the guys got the 125, the 250. One guy told me he had a terabyte. For some reason, the higher ones give them problems. It's not working right. I don't know why. Can't tell you. But anyway, 64 gig is plenty. That is a lot of memory. You're not going to fill that thing up in one hunting season, I promise you. If you do, I want to go hunting with you. The sleep mode. Sleep mode's a little tricky. Obviously got me in my trouble when it drained the battery. If you hold the bottom button down, the bottom arrow down for 3 seconds, it'll go to sleep mode. Everything shuts down. And when you see an animal come out, you're ready to hunt, you just push the middle button real quick and it'll come on. It comes on a little faster than going from off to on. It's really up to you. When I go hunting, I always take my battery packs. And when I get out there, I turn it on and I leave it on. Like I said, this thing can be turned on and left, just leave it alone. As long as you have something to power it, you can run it. So I just leave it alone. I just turn it on, leave it alone. But if you want to keep cutting it on and off, the sleep mode is a good option. But just remember, just keep an eye on your little charger. If it's not automatic or something, if it goes to sleep mode, it's going to turn off your little charger because it doesn't know that it needs power. And then when you turn it back on, if you don't pay attention, now you're going to be running just off of your 4 AA batteries. Again, 4 AA batteries. Daytime, get about 4 hours. Nighttime, a little under 2 hours. Just plain and simple, telling you that right now. You're not going to get any more out of it. I don't care if you use the Energizer Bunny with that's got the muscles and everything. It's all you're going to get. You will get a little less power if you use a cheaper Rayovacs and stuff like that. The dollar store the dollar store batteries, which I'm not saying anything against it, but they won't last as long. Rechargeable batteries. I've never liked rechargeable batteries and anything like this because I do get confused with the whole lithium, all that kind of stuff. I had some rechargeable batteries one time and I put them in something and it fried my unit. So I don't mess with rechargeable batteries. I just buy the good Duracell batteries, which I use, and leave them in there, but I'm always running on the power pack. Now, when you're using an external battery source, if I plug this in right now, does it automatically turn the scope on? No, it does not. Okay, just because you plug a power source into it doesn't mean it turns the scope automatically on. Just telling you that. Another common question, what's the biggest gun I can use this on? It's rated up to a 308. I've had a lot of people tell me they use them on bigger guns and no problems. It's really going to depend on your recoil. If you've got an old school, just a sporter barrel that kicks like a freaking mule, you'll probably see problems with that down the line, okay? But if you've got these new guns now that's all got threaded barrels and you can put a muzzle brake on there like I got on the front of this one, and the front of that one, takes the recoil away, kills the ears, and screws your buddy in the blind next to you, but takes the recoil right out of it. One of the things I've been told is that in real cold weather, they don't last that long. Well, here in South Texas, we do get into the teens sometimes. It's not a common thing. We've gotten lower than teens. But usually when it's that cold, hey, I'm a big old baby. I'm usually not hunting in that weather anyway, but if you do want to go out there and hunt, I don't know the specifics on that, okay? I've heard a few people say that in real cold weather, they tend to shut down. They don't want to work and get back into warmer weather and they start working. I can't answer that one for you. I don't know. But I have been out there in extreme heat in the middle of the summer. You know, it's something degrees outside. Being that it is black, I will tell you, it will get the sun a lot. So if you're out hunting and you've got this thing exposed right to the sun, it'll capture a lot of heat real fast. Try to keep this inside a blind or something. I have seen people, I thought about doing it myself. I love snow camo. Tape everything off and snow camo it just to make it a lighter color. It won't track the heat. But again, if something happens and you send it in, man, they're going to see it's painted and it may not go over well with you. It all depends on who opens that box. You know what I mean? Other than that, that's what I wanted to go over. A lot of the questions have been asked to me, kind of go over that. I don't want to make the video too long. I wanted to get more in depth, but I know people don't like a lot of long videos. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscription, share this, help us grow. We keep growing. I tell you that all the time. It's because of you guys. And I've got something cool coming. It's thermal. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It's thermal. It's an attachment, and I'm going to do a review on that. I think you guys are really going to like that. For the price, from what I've seen and the other videos I've watched, for the price range and what it can do, I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed. I hope that I am. So I can't wait till that comes in. But anyway, don't want to waste your time anymore. Again, this wasn't a review. This was just answering some questions. If I missed something, hit me up. I'll answer you the best I can. If I can't answer your question, I'll figure out some way to get you the right answer from somebody, some way, somehow. I appreciate you guys. And just like every time we end the video, every chance you get, you wet a line, you let an arrow fly, and you put some rounds down range. We'll see y'all next time.